is like suffering to iceberg. Not really that
There was more love for your brother.
will come as a thief in the night, in the wind.
Gangster rise.
With the great noise
All around.
and the elements shall
A whole lot of things is wrong.
What is not one?
Now she's a working woman.
Do what
She wants the time to be misled.
I've been through this shit more than once. You think you should stop your fucking shit? That's some random shit right there. You gonna stand on me? Why? I've been through it more than once.
And she don't have
I'm
to
not
wait.
fucking enough now. I'm not the one. You think you're all for fucking racist? Why? You are all fucking one. It's one earth. One girl on the island, one fucking one girl. No, it's not better than your white girl. That person, the white person, she never ever my ass. And then come back and say, you look something that would do. I'll beat them from all white ass, and go to jail. You all need to stop this shit, man. You all need to stop this shit. Don't do that shit to that people, man. Don't do it. Don't do that shit. I work at the hotel at the front of the restaurant. That's just come you are. The one that was going to quiet. They're never the one that you want. I have enough. I have enough from you all.
And clear up the boat doors, please.
Who told you to sell this baking cream? Who's it meant for sale? It's for free. And then when you talk, the client starts hitting you. Just because you paid. And there's no way that you can go because they arrest you.
You said plenty of other women would kill to be with me.
And he wants her.
I would love for my wife to be nice looking like me.
To look like Beyonce.
This is what he wants you to do housework here.
If she wants to keep her husband, I expect her to shape up.
If she doesn't, you're out. So you're going to bail on her because
I'm not pretty enough.
Oh my God. You ought to fucking sit down, fucking 16.
We're pulling away.
I'm not pulling away from you, my baby.
We're pulling
I'm
away.
hurrying.
Calm down, baby.
I'm my baby, yo, my
We're pulling
baby.
away.
I'm not.
Calm down, baby.
I'm pregnant, yo. I'm pregnant, yo. My baby, yo, no. My baby.
Relax.
Lose my baby, no. Alzheimer's pregnant, no. No. No, I'm gonna lose my baby, no.
I want to touch it. She was beating her up.
Yo, I swear to God, I'm gonna help you off your face, bitch, watch.
No, Bishop. Oh, my God.
Get the fuck off of me. Get the fuck off of me.
I switch on the guitar. I want myself. Inside the blanket. I want myself again. Waiting. I want myself again. That makes me warm. If there's my client who's feeling hot, I hope you.
For one, I didn't go and say, hey, I need this big humongous butt. What happened was, after my first time going to go get it done, it became a competition. I was like, oh, she got a bigger butt, she got a bigger butt, I want a bigger butt. But then, around my fifth time getting injections, it got infected. So I had all these lumps all over my butt. So I was faced with a choice. I could stay with the medium-sized lumpy butt, terrible, horrible thing, or I could go for a bigger butt and that I just kept having to fill with silicone to pad over the lumps.
So let's say we have a fan, here's a picture of her. Let's say she got an infection and her body was rejecting effectively. How surgically could you do it? The only way would be to go in and actually remove the entire buttock tissue and leave the person with such a severe, terrible deformity that it would never end the image. I think about sexual abuse. People have that combination. Did you have that kind of struggle too?
No, not at all. Anybody that knows me will laugh at you saying that.
Okay, well, it's just people are, amping up their body and doing ecstasy and getting going.
I don't like people to touch me. I had a very bad childhood, and I don't even let people hug me.
So we have a group of children here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of you. Can you tell me how many of you have had sex with foreigners on the beach? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 of you. 4 of the 10 of you. Almost half.
It was Fatuma's story which affected us the most. She's 13 now, but she says she was driven by hunger to sell herself to 2 European tourists named Andre and Thomas at the age of 11.
The first one, we put 1,000.
1,000 shillings, so that's £10. And the second man?
The second man, that day he did it. I didn't get some.
He gave you
500.
500, so £5.
It's very sad because my body is the temple of God.
Your body is the temple of God?
Yes.
When I started at the age of 12, I could go into a nightclub. Maybe I can get 10 to 20 girls. At least you can count and know that is a prostitute. But now there are many all over the place. Sometimes I do get stressed. I ask myself, or I ask God, what have I done wrong? I'm still a child and I'm doing this.
been wearing her hair like this since the beginning of the school year, but apparently the controversy started after she went to administrators here complaining about kids teasing her about her style.
It says that I'm unique.
Vanessa Van Dyke's desire to be different has become an issue at her private school. Her look is being called a distraction. According to school administrators, the way she styles her hair is a violation of student conduct.
They just say, you should change your hair, you should make it straight, because it's too puffy.
The student handbook at Faith Christian Academy states hair must be a natural color and must not be a distraction. Vanessa's mom wants to know how the school defines that.
Sunday evening when armed gunmen stormed into their dormitories at the Chibok Government Girls School in Maiduguri, 130 kilometers away from Maiduguri in Borno State. We're learning now that about 190 girls are still missing, still unaccounted for. This is because there was some discrepancy as to the number of students that were actually on campus the night of the attack. The governor's office had only been given information with a certain number of students, and they didn't realize that there were other students that were still on campus. Yesterday I spoke to the principal and she said this is the
in Philadelphia between MOVE and the Rizzo administration for Delbert Africa being beat and kicked by 4 policemen. Moments earlier, Officer James Ramp was shot dead. 4th largest in the country, Philadelphia is a city whose black population has tripled since the Second World War. In the wake of the civil unrest of the 60s, then Police Commissioner Frank Rizzo ran for mayor on a law and order platform and won. The year Rizzo took office in 1972 was the same year that the MOVE organization, comprised of the Family Africa, began to mobilize. MOVE demonstrated against police stations, school board officials, and public figures such as Jane Fonda, Jesse Jackson, and a variety of others who would, in their words, mislead the people with misinformation, offering only the problem and not a solution.
Subsequently, MOVE relocated to a row house at 6221 Osage Avenue in 1985. On May 13th, which was Mother's Day, MOVE had weapons and had built a bunker in the attic of the house they lived in. They boarded up the windows and the doors, and they began protesting using a bullhorn at random parts of the day and night. Responding to months of complaints by neighbors, the police department put the house under siege. Eventually, shots started being fired. The fire department started holding the house to force out the inhabitants, but MOVE members stayed inside.
In May of 1985, the Philadelphia Police Department dropped a bomb on the headquarters of the MOVE movement, a radicalized black nationalist organization. The bombing killed 11 people inside, including 6 children. The bombing killed 11 people inside, including 6 children.
The resulting explosion started a fire that officials deliberately allowed to burn for 10 to 12 hours, which not only caught the MOVE house on fire, but also burnt down the entire block, and some 62 homes were destroyed. In addition, 11 people, including John Africa, 5 other adults, and 5 children died in the resulting fire. Ramona Africa and 1 child, Bertie Africa, were the only survivors. MOVE later petitioned the court to indict the mayor, the chief of police, and others for murder in the 4th degree. However, their petition was denied.
Joined now by Courtney Hooks. She's a communication director for Justice Now, an advocacy group that's called attention to these sterilizations. Courtney, thank you so much for joining me. Now, it seems like the inmates gave their consent for the sterilizations. So first of all, can you explain why you consider these coercive?
Yes, certainly. So since 2000, people in California women's prisons have collaborated with our organization, Justice Now, to document and end the many ways that racially disparate imprisonment practices deny the basic human rights of family and grant the state the ultimate control and power over poor communities and communities of color, the power to control whether or not we can exist. So our findings after partnering with people inside California women's prisons on participatory research evidence a eugenic pattern of policy and practice with a devastating a devastating impact on the reproductive health of our communities and the people inside California women's prisons. So we have confirmed that since 2006, the California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation has illegally sterilized at least 148 people. And there's reason to believe that approximately 250 people, pregnant people, were sterilized during labor and delivery since the 90s. The department
Courtney, let me stop you right there. That's a lot of information that we've got coming in. Why does the state need to give its consent if the women already are?
They're not giving their consent. If you actually read over the testimonies that we've gathered and that people inside have documented from their peers, the level of foul play is absolutely horrendous. This is not a system of people actually giving their consent. You have one person in the article that Corey Johnson released, talking about being on the table, strapped down, ready to be cut open for her cesarean delivery, and the doctor coming up to her as she was undergoing anesthesia, actually about to go unconscious, saying, "We're doing a tubal ligation." And she said, "No, that's not what's happening." She refused. He brought over a form, and she actually could not read it because she was going under anesthesia. She could not see what was actually written on the page. That's absolutely not the appropriate time. That's not standard medical protocol to be attempting to get consent for major life-changing surgery while you're in labor and delivery, while you're about to go under anesthesia. That is absolutely abhorrent.
Absolutely. Now, one doctor said that any inmate expressing remorse for having this procedure is trying to get a handout from the state. What is your response to that?
He was just touching my eyes, like.
Afternoon naps. It's hardly surprising these creatures strike a chord. We humans share a common ancestor with both bonobos and chimpanzees. Between 5 and 7 million years ago, our ancestors branched off from the apes. Humans still share over 98% of our DNA with both bonobos and chimps, who split into separate species themselves about 2 million years ago, developed lifelong friendships. Mothers nurse their babies for about 5 years. Such an extended childhood is rare in the animal kingdom, but for young bonobos, it provides a crucial time to learn about the world.
Revealed what many scientists and scholars now believe, that Africa was the birthplace of the human family, that the first members of what we now describe as the modern human race were black, African, and that all human beings around the world share common roots in prehistoric Africa. In other words, we all stem from the same African family tree. For thousands of years, the only people on Earth were Africans. They migrated throughout the great continent and made many discoveries along the way. They learned to domesticate animals, to cultivate crops, and to build shelters for protection against the elements. They also organized themselves into families, clans, and tribes. They also an integral part of the society. Many of them engaged in the same labor that men did, and they had equal opportunity to own, manage, and receive property. There were also many prominent women in ancient Egypt, some of whom reigned during the Golden Age.
Women in particular. We have a woman whose name is Hetepheres. She is the great royal wife of Snefru, who commissioned 3 master pyramids, and the mother of Khufu. But in the 6th dynasty, at the end of the 6th dynasty, you have a woman known as Nitocris, and she's spoken of specifically by Herodotus as being a pharaoh, and also the person who commissioned the 3rd of the Great Pyramid project at Giza. She's called the loveliest of pharaohs.
Yet it is clear that a number of these rulers were both efficient and adventurous, For example, they formed strong navies that braved the seas and spread Egyptian culture abroad. This has prompted many scholars to ask, during the course of their long history, did the ancient Egyptians sail to the New World before Columbus? The Egyptians had sturdy ships that may have made the journey. Numerous apricoid sculptures suggest an ancient black presence in the New World. Even Mexican pyramids, hieroglyphs, and cultural artifacts provide strong evidence that the Egyptians sailed to the Americas in ancient times.
Evidence, without going into a lot of scientific and technical detail, that they knew that the Earth was round. They knew that the Earth was tilted on its axis. They knew that the Earth revolved around the sun. They had already had ways of determining the minute, the minute of arc in the heavens of movement of stars. So they had already learned how to determine celestial longitude and terrestrial longitude and latitude. So they would have had more than enough astronomical knowledge to enable them to navigate almost anywhere in the world. And they would have had craft, that is watercraft, seaworthy enough to make those voyages. And I think voyages not only across the Atlantic, but across the Pacific to what we call the New World probably began in prehistoric times. And so that America was a crossroads for the world long before there ever was a Columbus, thousands of years before there ever was a Columbus.
Imagine an alien that can float through space with a giant brain shaped like a donut, 8 arms growing out of its head, and 3 eyes pumping blue blood. This alien, it's called the cuttlefish. Flesh-eating predator who's a master of illusion, changing its shape and color at will.
Dr. Rosalind Jeffries provides an overview of the image of black women in African cave art. As many scholars before her, she found that perhaps the most ancient artwork, dating back 10,000 years, was discovered in the central Sahara region. But other rock paintings were also found in North, East, West, Central, and South Africa. What does this art tell us about ancient African women? According to Jeffries, it presents them in a variety of ways. Some paintings show black women in a symbolic manner, as primordial mother or Mother Nature, who creates and nurtures all life. Certain sculptured pieces appear to represent fertility and motherhood, which were highly regarded by African people. A number of paintings show women gathered together, wearing curious masks and vulture headdresses. In still other scenes, we find women talking together, posing, dancing, carrying pottery vessels, and relaxing with their children. One of the most popular of the universal figure is the horned goddess, who is depicted in graceful running strides, with horns on her head, surmounted by a pot-shaped hat. African legends speak of horns as being symbolic in calling together a nation.
There's no better time than now. Lift your hands high, little children reach for the sky. Said it's time now. No better time than now. Lift your hands high, little children reach for the sky. Now realize that God resides in I. In this black skin lies our blessing, so be proud now. Stand high and tall.
Interesting scenes of Egyptian family life. They show husbands, wives, and children eating, hunting, fishing, enjoying music, and traveling along the Nile together.
Echoed down the corridors of the city. For
generation, Nefertari bore several sacred titles, including royal daughter, great royal wife, and divine mother. Nefertari and her family were widely praised to liberate Egypt from foreign domination. In part of the reading of this series, we shall begin with the 18th dynasty of Egypt, which was the extended family of Queen Nefertari. We shall explore the lives of such eminent women as the pharaoh Hatshepsut, Queen Tia, and Queen Nefertiti. We shall also recapture the lives and times of Ethiopia's empresses and warrior queens. Finally, we shall examine the role of the Black Madonna in Africa, Europe, and
Lift your hands high, little children, reach for the sky.
Hypnotize its prey.
What's your name? Taekwondo.
Or even become invisible.
My daddy. She named Tyrone. But is it an American name? No. It's a Taekwondo.
Yeah, it's a because when you have a few colored kids in a huge white college, any way you cut it, they are alienated and they feel it.
Right on, brother. Big honey. All right, Rashi. Dig a little deeper, Rashi. Yeah, now you get closer. Dig it closer. Right into it. I got one. You got it? Hold on. Hold on.
You know, sometimes you're at the right place at the right time. It's there, right place, right time.
Just the energy. There was certain energy. It was almost like the house was like vibrating or something.
You know, when I first got to the brownstone, everybody was so wide awake and quiet and everything, and some of these women I never met before, and it's like all of a sudden we just all clicked.
We don't fit in with mainstream society considers okay. Considers, you know, it's not okay to be successful and creative if you're like us.
I mean, can you imagine, like, not only as an artist, but like as a gay black woman, we're home for us. All I can say is that day, it's home.
Simply watching bonobos reveals how unlike chimps they are. But at mealtime, it's unmistakable. Sisterhood is power. Although males and females search for food together, females decide how it is shared out. A fallen bolingo fruit is a favorite. But it's the females who get to feed first. Male chimps wouldn't tolerate it, but male bonobos have to wait their turn.
Well, I just feel like whatever your boyhood or your manhood or your witchhood does not depend on my womanhood. That's you on your own.
The females often share food with each other. It's a crucial way of strengthening their bonds.
Well, in order to know our enemy, we have to expose ourselves to some really energy-sapping things. And to do that, we need all the strength we can get. We need each one of us to deal from a place where we are most powerful. What I wanted to talk about today was the erotic and the source of that.
I know you hear me loud. I scream it loud and proud. Missy gon' blow it down. People gon' play me loud.
In other words, our erotic knowledge empowers us. It becomes a lens through which we scrutinize all aspects of our existence, forcing ourselves to evaluate those aspects honestly in terms of their relative meanings within our lives, in terms of their erotic value. The erotic is a resource within each one of us that lies in a very deeply female and spiritual plane. Functions for me in several ways. The first is in the power which comes from sharing deeply any pursuit with another person. Sharing of joy, whether physical, emotional, psychic, or intellectual, forms a bridge between the sharers, which can be the basis for understanding much of what is not shared. Irreplaceable knowledge of my capacity for joy comes to demand from all my life that it be lived within the knowledge that such satisfaction is possible and does not have to involve marriage, nor God, nor man, nor an happiness. In the way that my body stretches to music, opens into response, hearkening to its deepest rhythms, so every level upon which I sense also opens to the erotically satisfying experience, whether it is dancing, building a bookcase, writing a poem, making love, examining an idea. Go beyond the encouraged mediocrity of the society that we live in is always fraught with danger and with fear. erotic is to encourage excellence. The function of the erotic is to encourage excellence and to give us the strength to pursue it.
Yeah, you're at real time. Yeah,
So the erotic is not a question of what we do alone. It is a question of how acutely, how fully, how fully
Hey, we're in the middle of a revolution because I see the face of things.
The erotic has been misnamed and used against us. It has been made into the confused, the trivial, the psychotic, the pornographic, the plasticized sensation. And for this reason, we have often turned away from the exploration and consideration of the erotic as a source of power and information. It has been vilified, abused, and devalued within Western society. On one hand, the superficially erotic has been encouraged as a sign of our inferiority. On the other hand, women have been made to suffer and to feel contemptible and suspect by virtue of its existence.
Well, some folks are gonna get that notion. I know. They'll say I'm preaching hate.
For once we know the extent to which we are capable of feeling that sense of satisfaction, that sense of fullness, that sense of completion, we can then observe which of our various life endeavors bring us closest to that fullness, bring us closest to that fullness.
Daily struggle just to stay alive. It's gonna be alright. Everything's gonna be alright.
Is why am I so insistent upon giving out to them that blackness, that black power, that black pushing them to identify with black culture. I think that's what you're asking. I have no choice over it. In the first place, to me, we are the most beautiful creatures in the whole world. Black people. I mean that in every sense, outside and inside. And to me, we have a culture that is surpassed by no other civilization, but we don't know anything about it. So again, I think I said this before in the same interview. I think at some time before, my job is to somehow make them curious enough, persuade them by hook or crook to get more aware of themselves and where they came from and what they are into and what is already there, just to bring it out.